I'm back for more. It's race day again. And this time I'm trying something new, or a few things new, which could end in my best performance yet, or it might be one that I end up putting down to experience. Weymouth on the south coast of the UK is host to a very popular 70.3. Now, many athletes are going to be racing with the mind of trying to qualify for 70.3 Worlds next year. Many will also be racing a half Ironman for the very first time. And I sit somewhere in the middle of that. I am racing to get some race practice, to go and have a hit at and kind of see where I'm at. Now, it is a race on my doorstep, which is really cool. That said, it's still a 2-hour drive away, and unsurprisingly, I've not found the time to get down there. Training has taken priority, but I'm feeling really quite familiar with the course, and that is thanks to Ruby. And of course, thanks to GTN, who in the summer popped down there, filmed the route for me, and then Ruby have uploaded it to the platform. So from what I can see, it's, I guess, what you'd call an honest course. It's got some punchy climbs, it's got a few technical corners with a little bit of gravel on them, but truly it's basically a really lovely route through the British countryside. And I don't know the area very well, so I am looking forward to getting away from the comfort of my turbo and seeing what it's like for real. But the bigger picture, I'm 2 months out now from the World Championships, and this really is my last chance to just put everything into place and see where my fitness is. But more importantly, can I get my head around actually starting to look at this as a race rather than just doing it to complete. Beautiful sunny day, according to the footage that I have been watching and riding on Ruby when James and the GTN crew came down and filmed. And we've just seen the first spots of rain on the windscreen, which is filling me with fear. But it does look familiar, a lot of this. You know, I've ridden it, I kind of know where the hills are, and that's one real advantage of riding it on Ruby compared to driving it. Because right now I'm like, oh, it's nice and flat. I know it really isn't, and these are like lumps and bumps, feel kind of, I don't even have to really do anything in the car, obviously, but I know that I've got to be patient on the bike because there's going to be some big hills and I've just got to ride to my power. And I'm really hoping that this rain holds off because, like I say, I've kind of got in my head that it's warm, sunny, dry. Everything looks a bit brown on Ruby from when it was filmed. It's now really beautiful and green, and that only means one thing. They've had some rain. And there's more due. I keep talking about improving my nutrition. Well, it's time to take action. Minty from PFNH is going to help hold me to account. I'm going to do my very best to do exactly what he says. Minty, I am tomorrow seeing it as almost like a training episode of going out and just trying a race as hard as I can. I know you want to say don't try something new on race day, but at some point I have to try something new, and I'm going to do it tomorrow, and I need you to hold me accountable. Like, can you just tell me what I should do?
Certainly can. So let's view this as sort of a stressful training session,
yes.
You know, because you said to me that you're not sort of particularly concerned about times or qualifications. You just want to like really give it a good go.
Yeah.
And you know, the 70.3 Worlds is a big goal later this year. So if we sort of aim for trying to get somewhere between what you've done in the past and what the scientific recommendations suggest, which for you in terms of carb intake, it's probably going to be around 60 to 75 grams per hour.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we're seeing people having 120 plus and you're seeing all kinds of impressive numbers, but for you, the goal is sort of trying to progress towards taking a little bit more to hopefully help sustain energy a bit better and fuel you throughout. So you mentioned you've got a preference for a little bit more solid stuff on the bike.
Yeah.
Chews, some sweets even in there. So the bento box is probably going to contain mostly solid stuff. With the goal of trying to eat something, maybe a chew every 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
That'll likely give you something to aim for, something to do as well. Yeah. And that'll hopefully box off around 60 grams per hour. With a couple of gels in the pocket, I'd suggest to sort of top up. So just in case things are going really well and you think, actually, I could do with a little bit extra towards the back end, then the gels are easiest in the wrappers. And then on the run, usually gels are a little bit more easy to tolerate.
I've never tried a chew running, so I'm not going to try tomorrow.
Yeah, gels are certainly the easiest sports nutrition, so they're just simple digestible carbs. So probably aiming for 2 to 3 of those throughout the run.
Okay, in my life, I've never taken more than one on a half marathon, ever.
Okay.
And I also always feel like in a in a triathlon, like I'm near the end, like how can I just get to the end? Like, should I be trying? And at what point, like when should I actually try and get those gels in? Could I just do one right at the end of the bike and that counts for the run?
It doesn't quite work like that, unfortunately, because you're still burning carbs, you're burning quite a lot of carbs, and most bodies, most athletes get to a point where they get away with it for so long. And in a 70.3, it's long enough that it's long enough that you can't really get away with it. And so keep fueling right until the end, because we've seen people blow up with even 15 to 20 minutes to go. Because once you run out, you run out. And so I would say trying to maybe sort of relax from the bike fueling strategy and maybe have one gel every 30 to 35 minutes. There's Coca-Cola on aid stations, which have some carbs in, a little bit of caffeine as well as giving you the hydration. So that's often a good strategy towards the end. But little and often is probably going to be a best strategy. So rather than thinking, oh, I should, aim for lots and lots of carbs when you've only had one in the past. Again, the goal for you is to sort of try and have more than you've had previously and get somewhere close to what the recommendations suggest.
I'm also trying to go harder, like I said, not relevant of time, but just effort level than before, which then fills me with fear because the harder I go, the harder I find it to take on carbs. But is there anything that like I can adapt if it's not working? Like, what's my sort of real, do I need to back it off if I'm not taking on nutrition, or do I just go with it? Like, I know I'm trying too many things here.
If you're working harder, you're going to be burning more calories in general, so you're going to be burning more carbs. So your requirement for it is certainly going to go up. So I guess you've got
goes down. That's my problem.
Exactly. So I guess you've got two options then when you're triaging that in the race. If you start to feel like, oh, I feel a bit full, and it's either continue pushing hard and risk blowing up, and that's there's the racer and everybody wants to do that, or it's sort of okay, I need to be able to sustain this for another 2 or 3 hours, and so I need to just back off a little bit so that it's tolerable for my fueling to go down, and then I can be able to sustain 95% of what I want, but for the entire time, rather than go 100% and then have to back off completely because you sort of run out of energy.
Yeah, no, it's logical, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, but we all get racer brain out there, and so it's all sounds simple until you sort of out, everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face, as Mike Tyson once said. So it's nothing more so than nutrition.
Final question, which is kind of, I feel, more weather dependent than fueling, is hydration. So I think my sweat rate is around 900, and previously I think I took 1,000 before, and then I think I had 500 in. Tomorrow is forecast to be pretty miserable, and I'm not good in the cold, and I feel the cold, so I feel like I'm probably not going to be sweating that much. How much do I need to even worry about my hydration? And like, should I change my plan for it? Should I try have a plan and stick to it, or should I just drink to feel?
Yeah, I guess there's sort of a hybrid option for this one again, whereby you're not a really heavy sweater and the conditions lend itself to sweating even less than normal anyway. It's not to say that hydration is unimportant, because you're still out there for 5 and a bit hours around about that mark, and so you're going to sweat. If you didn't drink anything, you would get quite dehydrated. So you'll certainly need to drink something. It just might be a lower priority than if you were racing somewhere particularly hot. So certainly carry a bottle with you to start with some electrolytes in. There is water and electrolytes on the course, and so what I'd certainly recommend doing is, your 400 or 500 millilitres per hour is probably a sort of rough ballpark. You can scale that down if it's really, really cold and you're really feeling it. And if it does get hotter, then maybe drink a little bit more. And then on the run, certainly just listening to your body, trying to get some fluids in. It does help with the absorption of your carbs as well as preventing dehydration. So just trying to drip feed some fluids in throughout, rather than thinking, I need to have a firm target every hour.
Okay, so I'm going to concentrate more on my fueling.
Yeah, I guess in order of priority, you'd put the carbs and the fueling above hydration in a race like this. When you double the distance and do like a full distance, then the risks of dehydration sort of compound, and so you want to make sure you're getting the fluids in as well as the carbs in equal measure.
Cool. Okay, right. Well, it all sounds straightforward and easy when I'm stood here and just talking about it. Well, I'll let you know.
Good luck. Hope it goes well.
And I might not come and see you if I haven't done anything you said. I might hide.
Nutrition dialed? Now for the final kit choice. You've probably seen the bike before. It's the same Canyon CF I rode in Elsinore a couple of months ago. It has had one upgrade, the Canyon Fuel Aero bottle on the down tube. I'm sticking with the same TT helmet, especially as the forecast isn't great. I'm figuring it's going to help keep me warm. Now, for my clothing choice, it is time to try the new Rise On graphene tri-suit for the first time. It feels good when I put it on, so I want to test it fully in race conditions ahead of Worlds. And I've also popped in my rain jacket, hoping that will stay in my transition bag, but we'll make the call on race morning. And for the run, I am venturing back to carbon. In my last race, I opted for a training shoe, but as this is all about testing the kit that I want to use in Marbella, I've returned to the Cloudboom Echo 3s.
Well, all the hard work is done, or at least the amount of hard work that I was going to have time to do before this race is done. And that's now all irrelevant. And I'm really excited about tomorrow because I am just going out there with the mind to just push myself more than I've pushed myself before. I'm known for being really conservative. Well, I know myself that I'm really conservative, and that's why I always finish strong and I look good at the finish line. But I don't care about the race photos tomorrow. I just care about trying to actually find my limits a bit more and see what I can do. And also really use it as a test for Worlds, because this is my last chance, my last sort of hit out, and then I can go home from this, work out what went wrong, what went well, and really work for the next few months on getting those bits to actually sort of fall into place for Marbella. So I'm seeing it as like no pressure. That said, I do actually have sort of goals, and I've used the Human Go race planner for the first time, and I've never sort of sat down and gone, right, this is what I want to do. So it's been quite fun. Admittedly, the first time I just got out the race planner and I put in for each the disciplines moderate effort, and it gave me a time that I was really not happy with. So I've gone back in and changed it and actually given specific times and then tweaked them when I realised that that's too much power on the bike. So I've kind of found the middle ground and guessed a little bit for the transitions. But it's come up with a time of 5 hours 22, which I'd be really happy with. That said, I'm not fussed about the time in a sense that I just want to really know that I've worked hard. I know what sort of numbers I want to hit, what sort of pace I want to run at. And yeah, the rest is I'm just gonna wait and see. And the weather might throw a curveball in, but normally I'd be really stressed. And I have been feeling constantly refreshing the forecast. And I now realise I can do nothing about it. The harder I go, the faster I go, the quicker it'll be over. And I'm just excited to go out there and learn tomorrow.
Just before lights out, my inbox pinged. I received this email from Ironman. I then had a few hours to get my head around a bike run time trial. And on the plus side, it turned out I got an extra hour in bed as a result of the postponed start.
Right, not the morning that we were expecting. I've had a lie-in, so, every cloud and all of that. But it's a weird emotion of starting at the very back, basically, of a race. I have never experienced starting so far back and with the potential to overtake people. I am so used to being overtaken on the bike. So I'm kind of hoping this is going to be a nice experience for me. I'm just trying to reframe it. It's really hard to get my head around nutrition. I've had breakfast a while ago, but I haven't swam, so I'm not really hungry. But the whole purpose of today is a practice. It's to go and try things. So I've got to get my head into race mode and just forget about the swim and just go out there and try and ride hard, run hard, and try and nail my nutrition. That's the plan.
I was nervous about the bike, the combination of the weather, the narrow roads, and starting behind more than 2,000 fellow competitors. As a result, I rode harder than intended at the start to make sure I wasn't drafting and to find some space. I was seeing numbers way above my ability, but I kept pushing. I did eventually find my rhythm, but my power was so much higher than I could believe. I just went with it and thought, hey, I'll pay for it on the run, but this race is all about finding my limits.
I'm going to buy a bike and just bring it to you to fix. There's a sign there, and it's on paper, and it's not being poured in, and it's very difficult to read on a windy day. But it says...
I took to the run feeling apprehensive, wondering how much that hard bike was going to take its toll. The first 5K had me questioning what was going on, because I felt surprisingly strong. I tried to knock it back a notch, but still staying in my rhythm, until pretty much bang on 5K, it hit. Out of nowhere, I felt a right side stitch building until it became just too much and it forced me to slow to a walk. I can't tell you how frustrating this is. I can't even hold the GoPro up with my right hand because that hurts my stitch. I'm so gutted.
It hurts so much. You know, it sounds really pathetic. It's just a stitch, but how can a stitch be so debilitating? I don't understand. It's like, I'm not out of breath, and my heart rate is super low. And my legs, I don't understand how, but they feel really good. But it doesn't really matter, does it? If I can't put it together, if I can't run. It's just killing me. All right, I've had a little walk through the aid station and a bit more, and it's just not going. And yeah, it's just, and loads of people recognise GTM, which is so cool. I love seeing you guys out on course. I love seeing everyone cheering. And I just wish I could be doing a slightly better job, because I think embarrassment is my main emotion right now. I'm like, what have I got wrong? I need to go home and work this out, but I have had a stitch in the past. I had one on the arc, and I've never really found out what's caused it, and therefore I can't work out how to prevent it next time. And as you know, this is all about figuring things out and trying new things today. And I've been like totally up for that, and it's gone majorly wrong. Now I'm like back to the drawing board. What do I do about it? There's only positives to take from this. And yeah, I biked hard. I'll tell you more about it afterwards, but way harder than I meant to. And I'm hoping that's not why I can't run, because yeah, otherwise I'm a bit gutted, because I'm like chuffed with that bike. I'm gonna take that, and I'm obviously very disappointed with this run, but I'm gonna go home and try and figure out what's going on. I am impressed at the moment by the supporters, because look at them all hiding in bus shelters, because the storm has started to make itself known. Right now I'm running with a tailwind, so I can't feel it too badly, but you wouldn't hear me if I turned around. That's how strong the wind is. And yeah, it's just starting to get pretty miserable. So I am massively grateful to the volunteers and all the people out. That's the main reason I don't like UK races, is for this, the weather. However, the crowd have made me sort of potentially reconsider. I don't know. I mean, they have almost made up for the fact there was no swim. There was very bumpy roads, and it's now pouring with rain and windy. So yeah, hats off if you were out there in this weather, cheering everybody on, because you guys are amazing. The heavens have just opened, and that's just past my hoped run time. That's like rubbing salt in, isn't it? That I should have finished. Okay, I should have finished. I wanted to finish by now, but no, my body didn't allow me. So I am gonna get soaking wet. There you go. Said about the crowd. They are amazing. I think I'd rather be running in the rain than standing around in it right now. Oh, I've only got 2k left to go. It's gonna be over this sort of stitch torture. If this isn't a British scene, I don't know what is.
Well done, Heather Fallon, Sarah Wiltshire, look at that. Quick question, everyone, is anyone soaking wet yet?
Post-race recap, whilst it's still fresh in my mind. Swim? Yeah, sorry, forget that one. That didn't happen, did it? Onto the bike, and I haven't actually looked at my bike computer since, but from glancing at it, my normalised power was about 30 watts more than I meant to, which is insane. Like, unless my power meter's wrong, it might well be, and I might just reflect on this and go, oh, well, of course. But overall, I just kept working hard, and I was like, I'll back off in a bit, and it was good, yeah. So, and I took on more nutrition than normal. I'll do the maths in a bit. Probably still not enough. I don't think Minky would be happy, but yeah, I was like, cool, let's see what happens on the run. My legs will probably be awful because I've never biked that hard. And yeah, to give you an idea, it was higher than my FTP of my average for like 3 hours. So don't know how that works. But anyway, legs felt good. And I was constantly looking at my watch going, this isn't right. I shouldn't be running this quickly. Obviously, I shouldn't have been running that quickly because my body said no. I managed to finish and I can still feel like that muscle's really tight. So I've got a lot to like go back and work out why that happened, because I feel like really excited that actually I could bike better than I thought I could, and maybe I can run quicker. Although that is my worst half Ironman run of the year and maybe ever. So it's kind of balanced with a bit of disappointment as well. But today I came here to just give it a go. So yeah, this is it. This is now 2 months until World Championships. I gotta go and do some serious training. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And yeah, just follow my journey. Give any comments from this video in the comment section below. If you're out there on the course and you spot yourself in the video, say hi. It was such an awesome atmosphere. And yeah, thanks for watching. Give us a like.